Hey everybody, happy Friday. I actually had a different idea for a video topic this week, but I don't know why. I mean, I've been on the ground as much as any week in my life as a liveaboard and as someone who dwells primarily in urban areas, urban cores. But this week it has really been hitting me heavy. Just how rough it is for the people who are addicts, who are sick, that are living on the streets and in such terrible shape. And like everybody else, you feel so powerless to do. The problem is overwhelming. It is absolutely overwhelming. I every now and then I give some cash for what I have when I feel so motivated. But I mean, it's relentless. And to see them, especially with fentanyl these days, doubled over, standing there, just doubled over, still out, knocked out, pretty much on the edge of death. I mean, it's a death sentence, ultimately. Between fentanyl and meth, it's just to see our young people walking around like 20-year-old geriatrics. They look ancient in their 20s. In their face, in their physicality, their bodies are curling up within and around them. It is just horrifying, and the easiest thing to do is to try to not see them. And I think that's what most of us try to do since we're overwhelmed by it. I know there are some judgmental people that just figure they deserve what's happening to them, which is so fucked up. Truly. That is as heartless as it gets. But I think most people are just overwhelmed with it and don't know what to do and don't know how to react. And they just step over them, ignore them, don't look at them. And I think what really motivated me to make this video today is that when I pulled up, I was looking for a spot last night, and obviously I'm doing that all the time. Looking for a spot at night. I have some spots I can rely on, but not always. I'm in urban cores, and you got to find a new spot lots of the times. And it was after dark, which is not the norm. Typically, if I'm looking for a spot somewhere I haven't been, I'm not doing it after dark. But last night I was doing it after dark, and I found a spot, and there's this really pretty willowy, it's not a willow tree, I think it's an elm, that just hangs over the sidewalk. And it's this picture. I'll put it here. It's also the thumbnail for this video. And when I pulled up, it's in a nice little neighborhood, and when I pulled up and parked at dark in the headlights, I thought somebody had left a pile of trash here on the little sidewalky area, which you see in the city. Folks on the street, they just are not in their right minds, and they'll just leave trash around. And it's wrong, but they don't care. They're not thinking straight anymore. Thought it was a pile of trash. It was a tiny bit of a red flag, but not enough to make me not take the spot, because I have to find spots that I don't get pinned in when I'm parallel parking, because hell, it doesn't have power steering. So it always has to be an end of a parking area, so I can either back out easily or pull straight ahead out. Anyway, so I see this pile of trash there on the sidewalk under the elm tree, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks for the homeowners. So I wake up this morning, and I'm still sitting here getting ready to go, and I realize that's a person. That's a person wrapped up in trashy blankets and stuff, with garbage around them. And we know the story. I mean, we don't know the story of how this person got to where they're at, but we know, they're destitute, most likely addicted to something that owns them and makes them sick if they aren't smoking, injecting, or drinking it every day as much as possible. And when I am this close to that, I can't help but think about that could be my boy. That could be my daughter. These are human beings. They aren't trash. Their lives are trashed, is what's going on, but they aren't trash, even if they look like trash to some people. And it's the hardest part for me of the environments I move through and the work that I do is seeing the people who aren't taking advantage of the help that's out there for them. And, you know, I'm privileged to be a decent size, older white male. And when I'm walking around in these environments, if I come across someone who's, asking for money, begging, or just looking crazy, looks crazy to us, if they look me in the eye, I'll look them in the eye and I'll say, hey, I'll say good day, or I'll say hello. I've become a pretty good judge of when I can do that and it's not inviting an altercation, because it's not safe to do it. And I especially understand, as my daughter has, helped me understand too, that a female, it's like you can't do it. Unless you had a very, very strong sense, you were safe to do so. But in general, women have to ignore these guys. And women, to a large degree, that are in that state of mind. But especially men, they have to ignore them. It doesn't matter what their heart says. They can't say hello. They can't make eye contact because it's freaking dangerous. And just the whole world that has become the trash around people trapped in that addiction and that torture. I can't comprehend it. I know I can't comprehend it. I don't think anybody can unless they live through it. And I don't even know what the point of this whole video is, except I want to implore you that when you see people in that condition, remind yourself that that's someone's baby. It hits especially hard if you are a parent, because it could have been your kids. It could have been you. You want to dig down deep, unless you had an absolutely golden childhood, golden 20s. The reality is, you made some choices along the way. It could have gone so sideways, it could have completely fucked your life. That's the reality. And we're all just plain lucky to get through and be okay and come out the other end okay. And these days, with the drugs that are on the street, with the social media pressure that's on our young people, it's got to be 10 times harder than when I was in my 20s, my teens and 20s. So I'm just wanting to encourage you, when you see them, even if you can't talk to them because it's not safe, and I'm not encouraging you to ever talk to them or do anything that didn't feel good to you, but in your heart, remember that is a very lost, out of control soul. They aren't trash. It's a human being. And I would encourage you to, in your heart, energetically bless them. I don't care what your faith is or how you believe. Like, I don't have any kind of a religious faith. But I can still send out energetic blessings, and I do every time. And I pray for them in that way. I send my positive energy their way. And I just want to remind you, they're humans. They're not just statistics. And they need everything that we need. And yeah, you may not have everything you think you need, but by God, it could be way, way worse. And have a heart. I know you can't talk to them. I know you had to just move past them. But you can still send them good energy, as you do. and not curse them. I know that a lot of them make a terrible mess. And the optics are terrible and hard to be kind sometimes when you're moving through a busy urban core and sidewalks are blocked and there's shit on the sidewalk or what have you. That's how lost they are. It's not sane. And they aren't doing this to make you suffer or angry. They're suffering. And yeah, they're a problem as far as what they have to do to support their habit. Believe me, I get all the sides to this, and it's an impossible problem. It really is. I mean, I've talked to so many people at length about it, and it's like the only solution I can possibly see is if you could legally institutionalize them in a legit, rehab kind of care that would walk them through all the way to a different life. But there's the political will to do that. So we get to just live with witnessing them destroy themselves, which we all pay a price for that. So anyway, again, I don't have a solution. I'm just asking you to have a heart. And give them the love you can from inside you. And wish them well. And if, like me, you're an adult male that is not likely to be attacked for saying hello, look them in the eye and say hello. You don't have to give them any money. You can give them a little humanity by just saying hello and saying, I wish you a good day, brother. Sometimes that's all we can do. That's not meaningless. I've heard from them that when people actually look, there are a few conversations I've had that when people actually look them in the eye, say something sincere, it's a big deal. So there you go. Wishing you a great weekend. And yeah, there's my heart this morning.